YouTube, it's IG, The Inventor Gorilla. So I just ended a weekend with my kids. It was a good weekend. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. They're actually back tomorrow night, and then I take them to school Thursday, and then I'm alone for the weekend. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of me over the weekend. I've got a lot of material I want to cover. First things first, though, I want to say thank you to everyone helping out Brian J. Um, he's a good friend of mine. He's an incredible human being and probably one of the few people that really understand me and the messages that I'm trying to convey. And I just wanted to thank anybody and everybody who's helped him out. Very, very deserving of your help, and he is very gracious and humbled. And I just that's a great feeling. I mean, that makes me feel great because, you know, he was, I guess, afraid of a lot of trolls coming around, and I was a bit too, but I just kept positive thoughts, and I knew he would be taken care of. I knew that um, things would work out for him. So let's keep it up. He still needs help. We need to. I think more than anything, we need to give him our verbal support as well. You know, that really helps cheer a guy up. I know when I get it, the very few I get, it really helps. It boosts my spirits, and everything seems possible. Now, speaking of things seeming possible or seeming impossible, one of the discussions I've been having with Brian is about being fixated on a certain dogmatic, and that's his word, belief system, or fixated on a certain atheist um, idea of the world, being strictly science. And for the longest time, I've been trying to put the two together, and I've been fought from Christians and fought from atheists. And I want to point out that that's extremely arrogant of both of you, considering how little we know about the universe we live in. You know, Here's an example. I know I gave this. He brought this. Brian brought this subject back up again. But I did a video a while back about trying to explain to people how anything in the fifth, sixth, or seventh, or higher dimension entering into our four-dimensional existence, we wouldn't be able to recognize. We wouldn't know how to process the information. And a great way to demonstrate that is to use a piece of paper and then simulate a 3D object, hence your hand entering into this two-dimensional space, and how a being on this two-dimensional space would have a hard time understanding the hand coming down inside, and you'd get all kinds of weird writings from this creature that would be really hard to interpret because they'd just be doing the best they can to articulate what they're witnessing. And I find a lot of similarities in that and the Bible. I see a lot of people trying to define things that they've never seen before, that they couldn't have even imagined. And it's arrogant to think that any one human being can completely understand the Bible, or any one human being can debunk any part of the Bible, because you have no idea the perspective from which the writing came from. You are an outside observer trying to look back in time from a modern point of view. And that is extremely arrogant and extremely folly. Um, and even my fellow Christians who will say that science and mathematics and evolution are all the work of Satan and meant to trick us, I think that's the wrong path. I don't think that that's the right way to look at things either. Now, I do think that there's a darkness that is looking to cloud our judgment and have us fall into sin nature, just be bad, because I think it untunes our chi, our soul, whatever you want to call it, and it makes it so that we cannot communicate with God or the omnipresent being that is everything. Kind of like the Force from Star Wars. I happen to think that everything is connected in that sense. So for those people out there who have chosen a side, you're an idiot. And I'm sorry I have to put it that bluntly and seemingly insulting, but that's exactly how I feel. Anybody that's not willing to go halfway across the bridge and say, well, what if you're stubborn and you're arrogant? Because, see, I'm willing to stand in the middle of that bridge. On one side, you've got religious, dogmatic people. On the other side, you've got, the atheist, science only. And the answers aren't in either place. Because all we're doing and have been doing for 2,000 years or so is throwing rocks. And the rocks don't even reach the other person, the other group, because the distance is so wide, But I think we should take more of an approach of standing in the middle and looking at both sides and saying, well, how does this fit together? How can this fit together? Instead of looking for ways that it can't, look for ways that it can fit together. There are a lot of similarities. There are you know, a lot of connected dots going on in my head and in other people's heads as well that have opened our mind to different possibilities, and that there is an omniscient presence. There is, but you have to be tuned to it. You have to be open to it. You know, People who say that they've tried to open their hearts to God, they're lying, because if they really did, they'd receive God. It's one thing to say, but saying isn't doing. A lot of people say a lot of things. It's few people that actually don't say anything and do. And that's what I've tried to model myself after is say less, do more. So just think about that. Think about the idea that if you don't open your mind to any possibility, then you've closed your mind to the truth. IG out.